Hello, hello. It's Jeffrey Michael Grubb. You're a mean one, Mr. NFT. Hello, everybody. I'm getting started here. Waiting for Rachel and Mike. I think they will be able to get into one of these channels here pretty soon. Got a lot to go through. We're going to be quick today, though, because we're going to be doing the Game of the Year stuff again. Kind of back to back. And I think this through. Mike is editing this right now, and he's doing a good job. Okay. Rachel says she's getting some water. She'll be in just a moment. Fantastic. Jeff, play Mario Party with me tonight. Maybe Friday. Here's the thing. My Christmas tree is still up, and it's a fucking huge thing. It's a fake tree, but it's 12 foot. It takes a lot of effort to get down, and I think I have to start it now in order to be done by this weekend.
Hello.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, I gotta get all my Christmas shit down this weekend.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time. It was like last weekend. It's like I probably should have done this weekend, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like this weekend's like it's starting to get embarrassing. It's
exactly yes. Yeah.
Holidays went by so fast. Like I have the opposite. Like some people have like holiday depression. I have like post-holiday depression where I'm like, man, I liked it when it was like Christmas time and it was nice, and now it's not.
Yeah. It's snowing today, so it's like really pretty outside, so that's helping a little bit. But yeah, other than that, it's I definitely feel the same.
You're good with me deleting these 2022 most anticipated games from the list, right?
Yes, definitely. Please.
All right. What else did I play this weekend?
What did I have on? Buck Up and Drive.
Is that a Buck Bumble sequel?
That'd be fantastic. No, it's that car fighting game I posted on Twitter that blew up.
Yeah, I saw you post something about that.
Hey, Christian.
I'll tell Rachel she can get it now.
Yeah, and yeah, you could drag her in here from one of the other rooms.
Is she in one of the other rooms?
Once she's in one of the other rooms. I need your camera though, ASAP.
Wow, ASAP. I guess I better do it pretty fast. Oh, man. I'm whelmed. I feel like I have a lot of things to do today still, but I also am like tired and just basically I feel like a little bitch.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, let's see. Oh, Shan, what was that?
You sound
fucked up.
You sound fucked up.
Yeah.
Does he? Yeah, he's a little tired, and he's not even more tired than me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know what?
No, I was saying take it to the chat. Say it was yeah, I'm fine, but my voice is fucked up.
Yeah, you sound messed up.
Yeah, fucking.
What's wrong?
Rona.
Are you sick?
Yeah, you got me.
You got COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Christian. Hope you feel better.
Oh, thank you. I'm fine. It's just my voice fucked up.
I went to that cabin, New Year's. Everyone got COVID except for 2 people, including me.
My fucking...
Oh man.
So I'm like Neoing that shit.
The luck of the Mikey.
Yeah, my fucking dad got COVID, and I was like, this. I work with my dad, so like this fucker got me.
Yep.
There you go.
So
well, feel better, Christian. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I wanna. I'm fine. It's just like my voice.
No, for now.
Oh, thank you, Chad.
Just take care of yourself, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You should go see everybody you know.
Oh yeah.
You should go party.
I hate. Everyone I hate. I'm gonna giving kisses away.
Spread the love,
All right, Rachel's somewhere. Okay, let's pull her in.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll do it then.
Yeah, I don't know how
you
to.
already did. Sorry.
All right, hi
okay.
Rachel.
Now let me take a look here. Rachel, turn on your camera when you get a second.
Earlier today.
Yeah.
Oh, hi Rachel.
Hello.
It starts with one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard Rachel tries. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain the new time. I know is the time is the valuable
these
thing.
boys, baby. This voice is really good for
Yeah.
That sounds so weird.
All right, I'm adjusting the
What if
camera in the
Toad sang that
background.
song?
Everybody, just listen to Mike entertain you.
It starts with one thing, and I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try.
Oh, no, I didn't mean
I
this.
didn't find this rhyme.
I didn't mean you to do this.
Oh, I know. Back to the Bible time.
Okay.
And now I'm gonna show the title and laugh.
Well, I'm out. Bye.
Yeah, I
Come on, you're
understand.
impressed. That's a pretty good Toad.
We accept your letter of resignation. We understand.
I laughed at myself earlier when I was like, Jeff is either only allowed to die alone or while I yell at him in the Toad voice.
I thought you were entertained by that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, Jeff, you're dying.
Last thing you hear.
It's just pain in my face. You're not gonna stop.
That's like
Just
the
despair.
Mike and the Toad voice yelling, "Snake!
Yeah.
Snake!"
Oh man. I'm gonna fall asleep tonight. The biggest smile on my face is imagining me yelling at Jeff during his dying moments in the Toad voice. That's how he goes out. You'll be so confused it'll ease your passing.
Okay, we should get started because we're gonna have like time constraints. So let's see here. Let me
Have fun.
test this. That looks good.
Mr. Plow, you mean from like The Simpsons? Hey, my name is Mr. Plow. That name again is Mr. Plow.
Señor Barredora.
You guys can hear the music.
I heard music.
Okay.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye,
Thanks, Christian.
Nope.
We're getting started. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna go quick. We're gonna answer questions, and then when Dean gets here, hopefully we'll be able to like stop this episode, go to Game of the Year. Okay. I'm gonna count down. We're gonna get started. You guys ready?
Ready?
All
How
right.
come you guys' Game of the Year thing? Some of them are just blacked out in the
Because
For surprise!
it's a surprise.
Oh, well, mine aren't surprised.
Well, I'm not looking at it, so that's also
There
a
you go.
surprise. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to count down and press the record button, and then we're gonna go. All right. 5, 4, 3. It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the GamesBeat Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything happening in the world of video games so you don't have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb. With me is...
Mike Minotti.
And Rachel Kaiser.
And this is the podcast where we don't hate, we only create. No haters allowed, just creators. And if you're going to hate, well, you're not welcome.
Yeah.
Today's episode, we got news, we got games. I'm sure we'll talk about NFTs again, and I apologize in advance.
Oh, yeah. The super chat's already coming in. Our favorite, that guy who yells at us about being Xbox shills, is already yelling at you while giving you money. He's God. I need to read this super chat right now.
Do it.
From Xbox will never be better than PlayStation. Never is in all caps. He says Jeff loves Xbox and NFTs. Will never respect you. So
I
you
mean,
chew
got
on
me.
that, Jeff.
Gave me $2, and I will be using that to purchase NFTs. So there we go. All right. Thank you very
Is that
much.
how much NFTs cost? I don't know.
I have no idea. I bet you can find a $2 NFT out there. I bet you could.
I bet you could.
All right.
It's not quite a monkey. It's only the
And
tail, but
You'd still have to sell it at a loss.
Oh, yes.
Right.
So, yeah, that I've already accepted, of course. Yeah. All right. We're going to get into this episode real fast because we do have some time constraints later. After this episode, if you're watching live, we will be doing our personal Game of the Year list, and as well as some categories, kind of having lots of conversations about different stuff, Game of the Year related. And that'll be on the feed as well. So if you're listening to this episode, go look for that episode after you're done here. Let's see here. You can get more from us at GamesBeat.com. If you have something to share with us, email the podcast, games+podcast@VentureBeat.com. Thank you to Carlos Ain, who was Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube, for the use of our theme songs. If you are listening to this on the website player widget, there's an audio version. You can subscribe to that on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. If you are watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button right now. Hit that like button. It helps people find the show, especially when we're live. Join the Discord. It's discord.gg/GameMess. That link is in the description. Thank you to our mods. If you want the synchro channels inside the Discord, go to patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you access to the podcast producers and industry secrets and everything else. The cool kids channels, and then register for our upcoming GamesBeat event by going to events.venturebeat.com. That's events.venturebeat.com. Okay. Yes. We should probably just hop right into the news, right? We have a big list here,
Yes,
longer than I was anticipating.
I tried to whittle down some of the things that I found personally boring, but I don't know if it was enough.
No, yeah, probably still not enough. I saw you in there doing that, and I appreciate it. Let's start here with some Xbox news. This news put together once again by Canoodle, a community member there in our Discord. Thank you very much, Canoodle. All right, let's see. Phil Spencer said that the Xbox Series X and S is the fastest selling Xbox ever. Some people were able to do some math, basically looking at like console sales from this point in previous generations, and surmised, and this is coming from like Shuge X and other people, that the system is at 12 million consoles sold between the X and the S. That's fast. I think that's more than I think I was expecting at this point.
That's
for the
Wii U
system.
Total lifetime, isn't it? That's what I always remember. That's 12 million for Wii U Total lifetime.
Yeah, right in that range, like 12 and a half for the Wii U or something like that. Maybe 13. Maybe you're right. 12 million. That's
The poor Wii U.
Yep. That's that's always like a sad milestone, and yet really impressive to get there in like the first year or so. So
True.
Xbox Series X and S, like obviously doing very well. I think that the PlayStation 5 is probably right there in that same range and only limited by supply, right? I think both that's happened to both of these. Yes, exactly. That information actually came from a podcast he did with Kara Swisher over at the New York Times. He mentioned some other things as well, including she asked him multiple times about like, what does it mean that you're gonna like change things with Blizzard, and he sort of dodged it each time and basically said, hey, we're not here to like virtue shame or something like that. To me it sounds like they are gonna just kind of continue doing business as normal, and it's not much is gonna change here. Did either of you listen to this?
No, I read
didn't.
that transcript though, but maybe virtue shame a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
It sounds like I don't think Kara Swisher wanted to let that go.
No, she didn't.
Yeah.
She stayed on top of it repeatedly and kind of wasn't satisfied with what he said.
Asking.
Me too. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Mike?
Xbox
is she back?
will never be better than PlayStation. Another super chat says, "Talk about Phil Spencer censoring speech. You won't."
So Phil Spencer also said that Xbox Live is not a free speech platform, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. Like I would be if I were to go on there and try to start a political party, and he basically put it like that way. He's like, that's not what the platform's for, and I'm like, yeah, that seems right. Like I would not expect it to be for that. Like it's for communicating to talk about the games you're playing. I
didn't realize this was anything people were mad. Is this like another one of those?
No one's really mad about
free speech. With
no one's really mad about this. That's all.
Nah.
This is actual
I think that
virtue
Xbox
shaming.
Will never be better than PlayStation is mad about it.
Well, he's pretending. He actually doesn't care because he doesn't play on Xbox. Why would he care? Yeah, that's just like a thing that they were able to like take out of context and stuff and get mad about it. But like, Discord, you can't be a Nazi on Discord. Like they shut those things down. Like and Discord's more open than Xbox Live. Like of course not. Like that's just not like if you want free speech on the internet, you have to start your own website and you have to start your own hosting services and stuff. That's kind of how it works. Like otherwise, people aren't going to take your money and then let you go like do something abusive or potentially violent or foment violence and then say, oh, we're happy to take your money still. That implicates them and they're not going to do that. Microsoft also confirmed that they discontinued all Xbox One consoles at the end of 2020. This is in contrast to Sony, who recently the report came out that their plan here to deal with PS5 shortages is to make more PS4s.
Well, the difference here is that Microsoft has that kind of lower end sounds kind of weird, but
you're right.
That lower end version of Xbox, the Series S, right? There's no Series S equivalent for PlayStation, so that's why.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. And it's at least early on, it seems like that Series S was a pretty smart move because people are having a pretty easy time getting their hands on that one right now. And it's like it's serving some of this demand, and that demand's there. And so a lot of people are willing to just go with the S for now is kind of how it seems like it's going. A couple other quick hits from Xbox. Hitman Trilogy is coming to Game Pass on January 20th. That's very exciting to me. It's like, oh, this game's going to get another big chance to shine. So I was very happy to hear that.
This is, especially with my brothers. Like I was trying to get them into these games when Hitman 3 came out, but it was just difficult for them because like it's weird the way like trying to play all 3 of them at the same time is kind of convoluted, and now it's just a lot simpler. And they also announced a lot of year 2 content coming. There's some new modes. One of them is a bit roguelike-ish, at least in terms of like having those upgrades. There's going to be a new map. Sounds great.
Yeah, I'm very excited about all the things they announced here. This franchise always had the potential to support ongoing live service style updates like this, and the way that the direction they're taking this stuff is very exciting. Yeah,
Rachel, I think you're breathing into your mic a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
You're forgiven.
Yep,
Is
no
that
problem.
is that better?
Yep, a lot better. Yeah, awesome.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
And
We
then,
forgive you.
I'm very I have really bad allergies today, so I'm doing a lot of
Well, now I'm tired of your
Yeah.
excuses.
yeah.
this is a rumor that I've heard as well, and now it's out there. So maybe there's something to this. Bandai Namco is working on the new Killer Instinct. Mike, Bandai Namco was working on Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
That's over. So
That's
now,
done.
now there's a team out there that's like been making a fighting game for years and years. And are they going to go make like another thing for Bandai Namco or like some like smaller property, or would they be available to do this kind of work? Like, does this make sense to you?
That kind of makes sense. I guess we don't know if this rumor is true, and 2, if it's literally the Smash Bros. People, but that would certainly make some sense, right? You do have that whole team that was, working with Sora, Sakura's company. So yeah, why not just let them go do another fighting game project for somebody else? A pretty different fighting game project, but still, a lot of that stuff kind of does apply there. Yeah, there's some sense to that, huh? I can see this.
Man, there was a rumor about this way back in 2017, so that's weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was there?
Yeah, but I'm looking.
Yeah,
I
that.
googled it, and Reset Era was like Bandai Namco may be involved in a Killer Instinct sequel. So, that doesn't mean this isn't still true, but yeah, like I've heard this as well. I wasn't able to confirm it though. Is basically where I'm at with this. Okay, moving along. PlayStation news, excuse me. I guess this is rumors. According to VGC, and this is something I've heard as well, Twisted Metal Reboot has changed from Lucid Games, the developers of Destruction All-Stars, to Firesprite. And Firesprite's that new studio that most recently just announced they're working on that VR Horizon game. The big problem here apparently was that Lucid Games made Destruction All-Stars, and that wasn't very good. And so Sony was like, let's maybe move it. I don't know, like, they knew that when they made this decision in the first place, so I don't know exactly, like, what changed, other than maybe, like, the game, maybe they're like, maybe the Destruction All-Stars will rebound, and it never did that. And I'm like, okay, we're going to go to Firesprite with this instead. The thing I would add to this, and I talked about this a bit on Grubb Snacks, is that the Lucid Games version was going to be very much free to play. That was the whole focus, and that won't necessarily continue now that it's sort of getting the reboot. So I don't know. Do either of you care about Twisted Metal? Because I'm just not. That's not for me.
I used to like Twisted Metal back in the day, so if there was like a new good Twisted Metal, I would care. So this seems like. I don't want to drag down on Destruction All-Stars that much, but I'm ultimately glad that this game maybe will get more of a AAA take, I suppose. I guess I'm wondering, what does this mean for that studio, Lucid Dreams, right? Like, are they in trouble now? Do they just get another
Lucid,
new project?
Lucid Games, yeah.
Lucid Games, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe they presented something to Sony as sort of like a proof of concept, and Sony is like, Firesprite, you available?
Yeah, that's possible too. Yeah, I think we'll find about this game probably pretty soon because that show will be coming out. Games are complicated and take a long time to make, so I wonder if there's a chance here that the show comes out, sort of fizzles, and the game's not ready, and then they just scrap this game eventually. I don't know. It seems like a difficult thing to try to. I think one of the reasons we haven't seen a lot of synergy between movies and TV and games, even from a company like Sony who makes all these things, is that it's difficult to time that stuff up, and it seems more difficult than ever. And we'll see if anything comes of this. Sony is going to has ordered retailers in the UK and in many other countries to stop selling PlayStation Now retail cards. So you can no longer go to many stores in the UK, at least beginning by next week, or even online stores, and buy codes for PlayStation Now. Instead, what you have to do is, excuse me, and this is what PlayStation sent me in a clarification, that you'll be able to go and buy PlayStation currency cards, like buy a $50 denomination card, and then spend that money to get PlayStation Now. And that's all they would say about it. They didn't say if this is like a part of some plan to de-emphasize PS Now as it begins to shift to this Spartacus that was rumored by Bloomberg. That is a tiered version of PlayStation Plus that would include PlayStation Now. But this definitely seems like it's part of that process. What do y'all think?
I can't believe you even cared about this. Didn't this happen in North America months ago? So no one talked about it or reported on, but apparently it happened in North America months ago.
I'm
sure
conscious over here. Yeah, right. I know you can still buy get those gift cards from many stores right now. So it was a weird thing to say, but whatever. This is clearly like part of this march in that direction, though, and that's why so many people did care. Like, this is a story that, like, when I posted it, a bunch of other sites posted it as well, because everyone's like, okay, this is more indication of where we're heading.
A lot of people seem to care. Sure,
right, and it's like, and the reason, like, and the reason is because we can all put together in our heads what's happening here,
right?
And Sony didn't deny it. It didn't like say that's not what's happening here. They just sort of added a little bit of flavor that might be like, oh, we're gonna obfuscate. Oh, can't say that word. Obfuscate that what we're actually doing.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Sounds right.
Yeah, we're gonna do that a little bit and try to put a little bit of smoke here. But yes, we're probably moving in that direction. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be pointless to deny it outright at this point.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, we talked about Sony making more PS4, so let's move on to Nintendo. Kirby and the Forgotten Land got a new trailer, and Mike, it's coming out March 25th, so now you know what to get me for my birthday.
Oh my God, Jeff, that game looks great. I'm getting my hopes up so hard for that game.
Yeah, me too.
If that game comes out and like is middling, I'm gonna be so upset because I am all aboard. It even has co-op, which is actually a bit of surprise. I didn't think they would add that already here.
Yep.
You have like that Waddle Dee town. You have to like help rebuild the Waddle Dee town and do like stupid mini games like feeding them food. I'm all about it. You can, gosh, it looks fun. Those new power ups, like the Dig Dug power up, like the drill dozer thing, and then he has like the blunderbuss, like the gun. Kirby's got a gun.
Kirby's got a gun.
I'm ready for this one, man.
That date is, I guess it's kind of what I was expecting, but it's a little bit on the early side. I'm like very excited now that it's already coming.
Playing this game.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
March is getting very busy too. We were talking about February. March is starting to get stacked as well. So
I am really jumping the gun here and really like getting my hopes up, but I just love the idea of like a Kirby game being nominated for like Game of the Year stuff next year. It just looks really exciting to me.
I hope it lives up to the hype. I mean, it does look very good.
It looks good.
Yes, it does.
It looks adorable.
Does Pokemon Arceus look good? Because I kind of refused to watch that trailer. And at first I wasn't sure why, and then I was like, oh, I know why, because learning how to play Pokemon games is always the most boring part of a Pokemon game.
Yeah. So when I put my phone on the charger, it has a screensaver that's just Flipboard, and one of the news stories is for like the last day has been from one of the Forbes contributors saying like, there's no excuse for Pokemon Legend Arceus to look this terrible on the Switch. And I'm like, oh, it's that bad, huh? And of course, like, you got to play it up a little bit when you're writing a headline and stuff. Like, we get that. We understand that. But it does seem like that's the common sort of refrain right now from that audience, that the game looks pretty bad graphically.
Right. I mean, I've kind of come to peace with that. I almost don't really care. Like, it looks fine. It clearly doesn't look particularly good graphically. Whatever.
Yeah, we won't. I think we just won't know until we get the chance to play it. Now, did we get an invite to play it, Mike? You could just.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless I missed it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
If we didn't get invited, we could say that I've heard that other people got invited to play this game here pretty soon, in like the next week or so. So like I think maybe this upcoming week before the game comes out. So there should be previews here pretty soon, and
they'll invite in my mailbox.
So I've heard that those invites are out there, and so
no Nintendogs allowed.
Yeah, Nintendo. There's a ban on the Nintendogs. We are rebels, and we'll find a way to do. Well, I'll just tell you, hey, yeah, the previews are coming.
Can I get in there? Can I get in on that? I'm not technically a Nintendog, and
we should let Rachel begin to like reach out to Nintendo, because maybe they'll be like, maybe that'll confuse them.
Birthday, just please.
Yeah, there you go.
I forgot to tell you got thrown into Nintendo jail the moment you agreed to write for us. Sorry.
I don't know. I think she could break us out. Let's let her do the talking from now on. All right, we got some delays. We got a delay. Stalker 2 has been delayed from April 28th, 2022, all the way to December 2022, December 8th. So, Mike, your birthday.
That's true.
So
I don't care about Stalker though. I never played the first one. I don't really want to. Big delay though, right? Like that's I think more people are comfortable doing like giant delays like that after Halo, where it's like, let's not delay a game by a month or two. Let's just delay it for almost a year. Like, why the hell not?
Yeah, and this is an Unreal Engine 5 game, so it's like it was going to be the first one. I could see like that engine being a big reason for this.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if maybe like part of it was the Cyberpunk thing. That game, but then again, that game got delayed.
Sure.
That game got delayed again and again and again.
Right, but
I still
it
like
got
tell
delayed by
people-
like a month here or there, right? Like it never that game.
Yeah, they
couldn't
kept like
use-
pushing it like back in increments, and Stalker, and then by contrast, Stalker is just like, whoosh, go all the way. Let's all the way to December. Let's just like push this almost completely out of this fiscal year.
Yeah, that is to already go to December. It feels like the kind of thing where like you go to October and then at the last minute, then you delay it to December. But hey, I mean, I'm almost impressed that they're willing to just go to December right away. Maybe they looked at Halo's numbers and like, oh, December's the time to sell games still. Let's see, sales numbers. Rust has sold 12 million copies. Inscription has sold 1 million copies, and Jurassic World Evolution has sold. Jurassic World Evolution 2 has sold nearly 1 million copies. Not much to say there other than I think Inscription selling 1 million copies is that's pretty impressive for that game kind of like coming out of nowhere and catching on in such a big way. That's it's no longer a niche game. It's obviously caught on with the mainstream audience. Okay, now we'll get some of these other tidbits here. Take-Two acquired Zynga for $12.7 billion. That's 2 Star Wars and a Marvel, right?
Yeah, that man. I mean, like I get it. They make mobile games that are pretty profitable. Man, that seems like a lot of money.
I mean, yeah, I guess do they make like here? Let me let's see. Let me look at the.
They don't have like they're not like King where they have a Candy Crush, right? And that's what's weird to me is that you're not like there's not IP that's coming with it that is inherently super valuable. They have something or another, but right, it's something that like you could do cross media stuff with, right? So that's why.
We ain't making Farmville movies.
Right. Oh, God, Farmville was so long ago, and that's never really caught on. But they have something else now that makes I can't even remember what it is. God, yeah, that seems really expensive to me. I'm
looking at. Maybe the Zynga has some other. Maybe they're like inside Facebook Messenger or something now, because Facebook games have completely sort of just fallen apart. Like they don't make Facebook games anymore, right?
Sure. No, that's
but I'm like doing a Google search or I'm doing a page search on the Android app stores, top grossing Android apps, and I did a Control F for Zynga, and let's see. Okay, its first one is way down, not in the top 50. So it's Wizard of Oz slot machines. Is the first
one. They do
one.
a lot of those kind of things.
And then there's Harry Potter puzzles and spells, which is probably just a.
They own Words with Friends. That's one, but like Words with Friends has already had its day, kind of, right?
Right, exactly.
So,
I mean, Words with. Friends, yeah, way down there. Like not in the top 50.
Like it seems
That's
crazy
not
to me. But
100.
there must be something to it. I mean, there's something inherently valuable about just having a mobile game developer that already has all the infrastructure and everything is sort of built in there. And it makes Activision Blizzard getting King when they did probably seem really smart now because they've got a much more valuable company with more valuable brands. And I don't know what they pay. I don't remember off the top of my head. I bet it wasn't this much.
And King is like still #1 top grossing game, Candy Crush Saga, right now.
Right.
So yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, this. I mean, it's a lot of money, but also I think this is just a sign that like you have to spend this money. You have to go out and acquire because it's going to be one of the only ways to grow at a relatively rapid pace. And maybe, I mean, I will say that there is some like Zynga, I believe, owns what was the tech company that made like when you got drunk in Grand Theft Auto and you walked around and like there was like the motion engine or something like that. Zynga owns that company and they were like making racing games for Zynga or whatever. But maybe there's enough synergy there.
Motion?
Yes, Natural Motion. That sounds right.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
So I think that maybe there's something where we're like, okay, we'll have that tech. We can use that in Grand Theft Auto, and maybe that company who has made their own games now could do some stuff with GTA on mobile or something like that. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know if Rockstar's gonna like be okay with that.
Sure,
but we'll see. Okay, let's talk about Sega is not interested in NFTs because people don't like it. So let's do our NFT segment. I think that this is this is the turning of the tide though, right? This is people's like taking the temperature of the room and recognizing that it's probably a bad idea to do anything related to NFTs. And that brings us to Troy Baker, everybody, who this morning announced that I honestly, I don't understand what they're actually selling. Are they selling
they're selling a voice, but whose voice? And it's like, well, you own this voice now, but isn't it another person's voice? Don't they own their voice? Can you just sell your voice? Are they computer generated voices? I have no idea.
I don't even, I mean.
So
I know that if you don't like it, you're a hater. I understand that apparently.
I
don't know what it is.
So my basic understanding, and I'll say very basic, and I'm probably wrong on some of this, but it's like you will own a specific voice, and I don't know, like you're right.
Troy Baker's voice, right?
Yeah, but
obviously he's not selling his voice,
right? But is it like a Troy Baker like character voice maybe? And then, but what they said is like you can then take this voice and it's an AI generated voice. With like people uncovered that it's from this like Lovo.ai or something like that creates voices and stuff. And then you could take that voice and own basically the IP rights to this voice and use it to create audiobooks or use it in your podcast or use it in songs or whatever. And
what the hell?
I mean, okay, all right, at least. But I mean, but you're right. Like, it couldn't. Like, is it going to be famous people's voice? Like, you're not gonna have like Mario. Charles Martinet is not going to show up on this and be like, "Here, you can have Mario." Someone else already owns Mario's voice. Like, I don't know. It's a confusing prospect. But even then, you could do all this without NFT. You could do all this without NFT. And I think they're like, it's a smart contract. But I still need to know that. Okay, so let's just say I do this. Let's say I buy one of these voices. And I use that voice to create a work, and then like that work is like, just an audiobook. I use that voice to create an audiobook, and then I sell that voice, and then along with that goes the IP rights, right? That's how it's supposed to work. So I no longer have the IP rights, but I own the copyright to this work. Do I have to now come up with a payment plan to pay this person for using the voice that I once owned? It is.
No one knows.
It's not a smart contract at all.
Yeah, this just sounds like such a mess.
You'd have to bring in actual lawyers, right? So it's like it defeats the purpose.
Imagine, games can be more immersive than ever because you can like talk like in a character's voice when you're online. Like, do you know why people play online games? It's not for immersion. 99% of the time it's so that they can chat with their friends. And usually when you do that, you want to sound like yourself.
We've gotten so far past it's like, well, these are like unique hats that you can wear in any game in the world. NFTs,
right. Well,
where it's like moderately understandable and related to something that already exists within the world of gaming. Now we're just like pushing it like way out there and into something that I could barely even just.
The only reason anybody was ever excited about NFTs was because they thought it could make money. That was it. And they're trying different sales pitches to get the people who don't care about that aspect of it. They don't care about the speculation, interested in it. And all of those sales pitches have been nonsensical or awful or stupid. So that's why, so for someone, it was very insular, right? I mean, Jeff, we've been hearing about this forever just because of, our site.
For a very long time now.
Yeah. And they've been saying a lot of these talking points for a long time, but to each other. So they were all like, yes, very good. And now it's the point finally where they had to sell this to the gamers and the people on like twitter.com, and they're not buying it. They're all getting very upset. And it's become this incredibly hotbed and this topic. We had that sponsored post that went out that none of us knew about that was talking about NFTs. And it was like, people are ready for NFTs, whether they know it or not, or something like that. So, so we got to see firsthand. Yeah, people, this is just, it's toxic. And I know all these game companies are talking about it in their last financial reports because there's something good for investors. And I wonder how that's going to change in the next one now. That it's suddenly become, if you talk about this, like people are going to get furious at you.
Yeah.
People seem to not want it at all.
And we had, go ahead, Rachel, please.
I was just going to say, it kind of the way that this reminds me of like spam calls in a way, because they're not trying to get the vast majority of people to listen to them or agree to give them money. As long as they get like 1/5%. That's all they need. That justifies the whole thing.
Because that 50%, then it's on them to find the next sucker, right? Like it just like because that's how a pyramid scheme works. It's like as long as you convince like one group of people, like one ring, Like now you stand on top, and if that ring is able to commence another 0.5%, well, that's going to grow exponentially and exponentially, and that's the whole idea. So they're just trying to get that first ring in there, and then that multi-level marketing kicks in, where now that level below you needs to do marketing for you, and if they get paid, you get paid. And it's like, okay, so like that's you're right. They're just searching for that, but that's why we have to kind of continue being so loud about this, because that is so like it's so toxic. It's so capable and so spreadable. Like it's capable of taking things over and like overwhelming an organism, and we have to sort of be loud and act as like white blood cells against this thing and stop it from taking over. And we had a story that we were looking at maybe running where like this person did a study and was like, oh, most gamers want to do NFTs, and I'm like, we need to see the methodology, we need to know what's happening here, because it just, you look around and like I say, you take the temperature of the room, it does not feel like that at all.
No, it does not.
One thing you hear is like, oh, this is a loud minority, a vocal minority, and does anyone believe that? I don't believe that anymore. I think once people hear about it, they are immediately against it.
Yeah.
No. There's no upside. I mean, again, it's literally just, you can make money from it. Okay. You can make money from a lot of things.
I've spoken to like the true NFT believers, and you know, I'm glad they've got something that they are enthusiastic about, but I have never heard any of them like give a pitch that would sell it to like a vast majority of gamers. It's like a very niche audience that they're trying to appeal to. And wasn't it this Square Enix guy who said something like, well, I know most people are just going to want to play, but there are going to be a bunch of people who play for fun, but there's going to be a small bunch of people who want to play for, who want to play to earn money or something. And I'm like, yeah, there we go. That's it. That's what you're going to, and the problem is that's what you're going to market to from now on, is that tiny group of people, because they're the ones that you think are going to fund you for the future. So that's what worries me.
And we're not gonna stay on this forever, but like the one last point, I tweeted this earlier this week. It's like, NFTs kind of will turn multiplayer gaming into sitting in a room and having someone trying to sell you a timeshare. And what I mean by that is, once NFTs get out there and they get into games, you never know when you're online, if you're talking to somebody and they start talking about the thing they have, are they doing that because they want to increase the interest in that thing they have because they're trying to sell it? And it's like every conversation is going to be poisoned by these things. And that's the slippery slope that I'm worried about, that will like ruin all of gaming, because now we're going to look around and not trust anybody. It's no longer just this company trying to sell us stuff. Like loot boxes were bad enough, but what they were mostly is just like, okay, I'm not going to buy that because I'm not interested. And the people around me are like, if I'm not interested, they don't really care. Like, but if I'm not interested in the NFT thing they have, that NFT thing is going to go down in value, and they bought it at a high price, and that's going to hurt them financially because they bought it in a speculative market. And it's just like this whole system that we do not want in gaming. That's not what gaming has ever been. It would be something different at that point.
All right, let's finish up the news here.
Respawn is working on its new IP. It's still going to keep working on its new IP, even though the director left. So this week, Mohammed Alavi left Respawn. He is the guy who most famously, and Mike, I know Mike super cares about this. He designed the no Russian level in Modern Warfare 2. I'm sorry, I know this is going to break you up, Mike, to know that he left Respawn.
Wow, not the luminary who made a level where you shoot at people who don't fight back, or I don't know.
I would say that it's not like people are like calling it out as like something. It's just, it is a famous thing. It's just a famous thing. That's all it is.
I understand. Look, I don't want to get into the no Russian debate. Is it good or bad again? I no interest in that.
But he's been sort of doing that sort of thing for a long time, where he's like designing like standout moments in games for quite some time. That was his whole thing. And now most recently, he was in charge of Respawn's secretive new third game alongside Apex Legends and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2. This game doesn't have a name yet. It's not Mirror's Edge, everybody. I know people are speculating about that. Not Mirror's Edge. But it's also not a Titanfall sequel. Mm-hmm. But when you hear the description, it's easy to see why people think it's one of those two things. What they're going for is a AAA first-person shooter single-player game that is based on mobility and style. Is
it a franchise or is it something new, like entirely?
I might know. Honestly, I think I might have been getting messages right now, and I'm not going to read them right now because I believe I agreed to be off the record. So I'm just going to stay over here and not read that until we're done, and that'll save my brain from like making any mistakes.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, I don't know. I'll say I don't know what it is right now, but I know, other than I know it's not Titanfall, and I know it's not Mirror's Edge. Yes, I know you like are super back around to Mirror's Edge after playing the updated version on Xbox.
Yeah,
What happened?
I mean, yeah, oh yeah. Well, I mean, I've always liked Mirror's Edge a lot. Actually, that was one of my favorite games from
Me
that
too.
era. Yeah, it's great. So, I mean, but it's at the same time like we had that sequel and it was okay anyway. So whatever. I'll always have Mirror's Edge 1. It's fine.
Yeah. I didn't like Catalyst at all. So.
I liked it still, but it certainly didn't stick with me in any meaningful way. I hated its whole reboot energy, the most unnecessary reboot energy ever, where it's like, wait, why are we telling like a different story with like these characters in a different universe? Like, why isn't this not just a sequel?
That's
you know how unlikable the characters were. Like, good lord, nobody needs. Why is everybody such a dick to each other?
Yeah.
All right, I got two more Mikey stories here. I just want to get your quick take on these. Mike, Final Fantasy 14 goes back on sale at the end of the month.
Yeah. So, gosh, it's almost going to be like what, a month and a half that it hasn't been on sale at that point. So, pretty long time. One of the reasons it's coming back on sale is because they're opening up the Oceanic Data Center. So that's like a whole new group of servers located in that Australia area. So basically, there's going to be more servers, and a lot of Australian players will probably want to migrate there so that they can have better ping and stuff like that. So that should uncongest things a bit. And they have other plans to expand the other data centers, Japan, Europe, and North America, starting this summer. So like there will be another flood of new players once the game goes back on sale again, I'm sure, but things should start improving queue-wise. So
Lego is putting the Overwatch 2 set on hold due to the ongoing allegations against Blizzard.
But I'm glad somebody's remembering that there are ongoing allegations against Blizzard.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, Lego didn't put out a blog post earlier saying that they were going to like hold Activision Blizzard to a standard. They just actually did. So good on Lego, I guess.
Yep.
I never thought I'd be saying, hey, at least Lego is doing something about it.
Yeah, they're really putting the pieces together there. I'm sorry.
Mods just like are our mods just like all in some conspiracy to like mess with me? Because first on Nintendo's Turbo Sean was going on about how Super Metroid's overrated. Now Nick Turbo is just saying that Mirror's Edge is frustrating and janky. I don't know if they just all have really bad opinions or if this is just all a joke to try to upset me.
Nick Turbo does want to upset you almost always, Mike. That's true.
That's true, actually.
Frustrating, I will say, is not necessarily wrong. I mean, I love that about the original Mirror's Edge, is that it's frustrating and difficult. I mean, that's the reason I loved it, is because it's first-person parkour where things feel very weirdly limited in a way. Like, you feel like you're making movements an actual human could make, and that's frustrating because it doesn't always, like, you aren't Mario, you can't just like boing, you know. So that, yeah, I can see frustrating. Maybe that's not what Nick Turbo meant, but you know,
don't defend Nick Turbo.
All right, let's see, where should I go from here? Should we do the Game of the Year poll? And then let's do the Game of the Year poll.
Okay.
So while I bring that up, actually, why don't you start? Read a super chat real quick, and then I'll while I'm getting that, and that'll help. Like alleviate some stuff.
Well, we'll read a super chat here. Let's not do that. That would be a long discussion. We'll get there. But Radu Perico Taganas asks, ever played the 3DS game Gotta Protectors? Seems neat. I have never played Gotta Protectors. Gotta Protectors? What's Gotta Protectors?
I don't know.
I've never heard of it.
The poll's really close with 101 responses. So actually, we're going to do a few more super chats. Vote right now. The link, I believe, should work. It's in the description. I guess I could double check that, but
so this is like an 8-bit style looking tower defense game. Okay, yeah, it has like Dragon Warrior graphics, but it's a tower defense thing. It does look neat, actually, huh? A little gauntlet-y, but more Japanese, more weeby than that, but in a nice way. Okay, Gotta Protectors. That looks interesting. I am ready. Jeff, for your cool things. Yeah,
hang on. I just want to give people a chance to vote, and I'm like sending it into the thing again real quick. Semifinal. Let me put it into the chat. Oh, Nick Turbo just put it in.
Spicy.
I believe that's right.
Yes.
I'm gonna do it as well, just in case, because for some reason I got a different URL.
Link is dead.
Okay, there. Yeah, this is the new URL. This is the new. I just put it in chat. That one should work. Okay, so yeah, we got 10 more responses. Okay, people are voting.
You want me to do some more super chats while people vote? Is that what you want, Jeff?
Yeah, because it's going back and forth a lot.
All right,
I'll cut it off. I'll cut it off after this next super chat.
Okay. Kyle Martin says, is the PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5 upgrade for Horizon Forbidden West free or not? Sony doesn't mention it on their storefront. The only thing I can find is the blog post from September. Is that even legal?
let me listen. How about this? Mike, Rachel, and me, we will reach out to Sony and we'll do a story on this as soon as we can. We'll reach out to them.
Yep.
We'll ask them for clarification. And if they don't give us clarification, we'll just say that. But we're going to do a story on this. That's
I'm confused too. I also don't really understand what's going on.
Because we remember them
don't.
saying this, right? They've said this. So it's like,
I remember that being a thing that happened, but I don't remember how.
well, this game's
their
out soon, so
response.
now it's like it's time.
Yeah.
Like the rubber's hitting the road. We'll find out. We will reach out to Sony after this episode and figure it out. Okay.
Do you want another one, Jeff? Are you ready?
No, I'm going to turn off accepting responses. We got 155 now. Man, that's that. And it did separate a little bit there at the end, so I feel good about turning this off. Okay, responses are over. Let me. Don't look at the thing for a second. Wait, that's not. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not looking. Oh, your thing. I see.
I'm going to bring it up on here, and I just want to.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the window.
Okay, no, it's not there. Okay, great. So we have the semifinals here with 153 responses, 155 responses total, but 153 for this first one between Metroid Dread and Halo Infinite.
Ooh.
Who do you think's
is
going
the
to win
big
that one?
one? That's the big one. Man, that is hard.
Yeah, that I kind of wish the other two ones. I kind of wish it had been separated. But you know what? I have no idea which way that's gonna go.
It's going to be close because these are both very popular games and also both games that our community specifically likes a good amount.
Mhm.
I think I'm going to say Halo edges it out.
What do you think, Rachel? Yeah, but do you want to put a guess on?
I'm gonna go with Halo, yeah, but not by much.
All right, with let's see, 81 votes to 72 votes, and this did separate at the last minute. It is Halo coming out on top.
Yep,
Let's see.
doesn't surprise me.
I thought Metroid might have won the whole thing, but here we go.
Yep, I think Metroid was doing very well. I think it did have a lead a little bit there, and then it was like 50-50 at the last, like when I started this, and now.
Oh boy, that is close.
I think my community game night won a lot of people over. We had a lot of fun.
Honestly, after that night, I'm like, man, we really picked the right game because that was so much fun.
Yeah, we were having a lot of fun in Halo.
Okay, the other one is Psychonauts 2 versus Forza Horizon 5.
Oh man, look at that. The Microsoft things kind of together. That's
Fight for
interesting.
third place.
Yeah, man, that's hard. That one is almost just as hard. Maybe it's not as hard as I think it is. A lot of people like Psychonauts 2. A lot of people like Forza. What do you think, Rachel?
I think it's gonna be Psychonauts 2. But again, I think that's gonna be pretty close.
Do you think chat? I want to see guesses in chat. No one in chat is guessing.
They're all cowards.
Yeah, they're cowards.
Oh gosh, man, that one's hard for some. Like I keep wanting to say Forza, then I keep stopping myself. I'll say Forza. I'll say Forza.
And then Rachel, what'd you say? Did you say Psychonauts 2?
Psychonauts 2. But again, I think it's gonna be close either way.
All right, so this is still Metroid Dread versus Halo Infinite. Let me just scroll up. Actually, I might need to scroll down here. Let me do here. It is Psychonauts 2.
Shit, I finally lost one of these.
Let's see, with 86 to 66. So a pretty decent
bigger
gap there.
than I would have thought, actually.
So that's
Okay.
56% to 43%.
Forza kind of lost. Everyone was really excited when that came out. It lost I don't want to say it lost steam, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I do. I agree. Not that it's like a reflection on the game at all. I just think everyone's like, man, everyone loves that game. We don't need to like make a big deal. I think a lot of people vote when they want like, I want recognition for Psychonauts 2. Is how I think a lot of people vote.
Sure. I like Psychonauts 2 more to be.
Even if I personally think Forza Horizon 5 is probably going to be one of the most crowd pleasing games in this entire like top 4 here. Like where if you want to like just like point at a person at a game here, Forza Horizon 5 is probably the one that most people are just going to be able to pick up and play, have a fun time with.
True.
We will have a third place match. That is correct, and that'll be between Forza Horizon 5 and Metroid Dread. So wow, our top two. I will set that up as soon as I'm done with the podcast here. Going to be between Halo Infinite and Psychonauts 2.
How about that?
Ooh, not what I was expecting, but
yeah,
cool.
Congrats to Halo Infinite.
Yeah, Kyle Martin makes a good. Forza Horizon is overqualified for Game of the Year, and I almost agree with that. I think that's
you might not even be wrong. I know what you mean. It's like
yeah.
Sounds like a funny joke, but I understand what you mean.
Okay, let's see. Mike, why don't you get back to the super chats, and then I'll get the questions from the community spooled up
All
here.
right. So Wienerbeat Decides asked, I think it would be good radio to discuss that article that got GamesBeat yelled at this week. Any chance you can do that? Sponsored by My Curiosity. So so if you don't know, we had a sponsored post go up earlier this week about NFTs, and it was the title was "Gamers are ready for NFTs, whether they know it or not," or something like that. And
which sounds like a threat, by the way.
it does sound like a threat.
Gaslighting.
So just to let you guys know a little bit about that process. Nobody really on the editorial side, right, at least then, had any input on sponsored stories. Sponsored stories are just something that a person could pay for so that they can have a story. Yeah, so to the sales team, so that they can get a story on our feed, and it'll always be, it has sponsored like in the headline, in parentheses and stuff like that. So the idea is, well, it's visible, so it's fine. And yeah, we have VentureBeat.com has a sales team, and they're the ones who handled that completely. And they also were not really tuned in with what was going on with NFTs and how, the whole discussion with it, how nuclear the whole conversation has been, and why there's all these reasons why people don't like them. So they were very blindsided by it too. And we were blindsided because we had no idea this was happening and everything like that. So so then the whole thing, so then it happened. And then we were trying to play catch up to realize what happened and how we can improve in the future. And in the future, we're getting a voice at that table, I think, or at least that's what we asked for. So hopefully something like that won't really happen again. But yeah, it was a fun day. And I get it. That's the reason why we were, a little bit upset. Look, this has our name on it. This says GamesBeat. So we're going to take the flack for it, even though we had nothing to do with it. I understand that people didn't understand that we don't have anything to do with it.
Well, we can't expect the average reader to know that there's a difference between the editorial and the sales team.
That's why they pay for the sponsored. That's why you pay for a sponsored post, right? Because you want to be next to our stories.
Yeah.
Right. So it was just kind of a crack in our procedure right now. We are in a weird space too, where since Jason left, there's not really a boss on the GamesBeat side. We've all kind of just taken different responsibility. So it's something. It's a little bit more awkward for us getting a seat at some of these tables right now because there's just not an obvious person to do it sometimes. So there's that too. But yeah, so we're kind of figuring things out a little bit there, and hopefully something like that won't happen again. But obviously, we're not all big fans of NFTs.
No, I mean, we will continue to have stories about NFTs on our site. Dean covers a lot of it, and Dean's willing to hear out a lot of true believers and stuff like that, and present their quotes and their beliefs as they state them. And no one's really had many issues with those stories. And I think maybe that'll increase, maybe that'll change. But my hunch here is that people saw that headline and I'm a gamer, I know what I want. Please don't tell me that I want something I know I don't want.
Right. I think with a different headline, that story probably would not have become a thing.
Yes.
I think that
was a very bad headline.
It was straight. It is straight up gaslighting. It is.
Yeah.
You don't know what you want. I know what's better, and I'm not even really talking to you. I'm talking to executives over at these companies, and I'm telling them this is what these gamers want, even though gamers are making it very clear that they don't want anything to do with NFTs. So it was something like if at any point in the process we had known what was happening there, we would have mentioned a lot of these problems. It would have been very obvious just looking at that headline. But yeah, we'll, like I said, we have asked to change the process a little bit to make sure that this doesn't happen again, and we'll see. Going forward.
It sounds so you had to say, but to quote conspiracy theories, no, these things aren't done on purpose. Nobody was happy about that. Not us, not the sales team, not the guy who wrote the sponsored story. Nobody was very
he was not happy.
About anything.
Never assume malice where stupidity is a viable explanation.
Absolutely,
yes,
and it's I mean, the point is
and I'm not saying I'm not calling anyone stupid. It's just
it was stupid. It was a stupid situation that happened, and it was due to some absent-mindedness at the very least.
Yeah.
The person that wrote the story, like I say, he was reaching out to executives. That's who he wrote it for. When it blew up with a gaming audience and was starting to get a ton of attention, you would think, all publicity is good publicity, right? They'd be happy about that. No, they wanted us to take it down. So it's I mean, the whole point here is this is not something that anyone involved with was happy about. So,
no.
Yeah. But thanks for everybody for sticking with us and listening to our explanation. We appreciate that.
Josh Tarpley says, everyone loves to hate the Game Awards, but they nominated Dread for Game of the Year, while GDC/DICE didn't. But that's none of my business. He also says Psychonauts 2 as well. Is that true? Did DICE not nominate Dread or Psychonauts 2 for Game of the Year?
I heard some people discussing the awards, but I didn't look it up. So that's going to be the Academy of Interactive Arts and Science.
That seems nuts to me.
Awards.
Did what's this? Did Twisted Metal? Did Jaffe convince them all that Metroid Dread has a bad game design? Is that what happened?
Let's see, man.
I mean, I understand Forza and Halo were probably were valid here when they weren't for the Game Awards, so they had to take some spots. But I'd be shocked that they took those spots and not say Resident Evil or something else. Maybe Psychonauts too. But Dread, really?
It's nominated for Dread's nominated for Action Game of the Year.
At DICE, yeah.
And they still do these categories like action and adventure. Those things are so outdated. I don't know, but whatever. I guess it's just a momentum at a certain
what's
point.
nominated for Game of the Year at DICE? What is nominated?
I'm scrolling down to the bottom here.
Is there even a Game of the Year proper? Oh, yeah, there is.
Here it is. Okay, so it's... Well, I mean, do you want to guess, Mike? Do you want to guess?
Well, how many are there?
5.
5.
So It Takes Two.
I don't think any of these are in our top 5 except for one.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, well, It Takes Two. Wait, Halo's not nominated for Game of the Year?
Halo's not nominated for Game of the Year.
Hey,
that might have been a timing thing. You never know.
Okay, Forza's got to be there.
Nope.
Wait, what the hell? It Takes Two is, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Resident Evil?
No.
Nope.
Wait, what the hell?
This is fun. We should just keep doing this.
I'll give you one because you're not going to guess it. Inscription is one.
Okay, that's nice. Loop Hero.
No,
close. You're getting there, getting warmer.
Okay, just tell me what the hell is it? Don't tell me Death's Door was.
Now go ahead, Rachel.
Returnal, Deathloop, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Inscription, and It Takes Two.
Yeah, pretty weird list,
yeah,
honestly. I like some of those games. Okay, fine, whatever. I guess.
Yeah, they really liked Deathloop this time.
These are people who make games. Voting on this at the Academy of Interactive Art and Sciences are all developers. These are the people who make games. I think when they vote on this stuff, they're usually like, man, something about this is like, if I were to try to do this, I wouldn't know where to start. It'd be very hard. And I bet a lot of people see a lot of that in Deathloop. I bet a lot of people see that in like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, where like the technology in this is just so impressive. Sure. We got to award it and stuff. I don't know. And a lot of it's, I think the same thing with Inscription. Inscription is probably blowing some people's minds in terms of like where it goes with the story. I bet that helped.
I agree with Josh that I think the Game Awards had a better list of Game of the Year nominees.
Yeah, and I think they're for different audiences, I think. But I think I agree.
Yeah.
Tyler James Bay says, thanks for always being entertaining. Buy a couple of beef and cheddar NFTs on me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Logan Jackman says, any idea when we might see Gotham Knights again or get a release date? It was supposed to come out in 2021, got delayed, and has been pretty quiet since.
We're seeing more of the Suicide Squad, right? So it's like, Suicide Squad's coming first.
We're seeing the cinematic trailers. We're not really seeing gameplay, are we?
We had gameplay for Suicide Squad.
We did finally get Suicide Squad gameplay, yeah.
Okay.
But so I don't know. Do they both come out next or this year? I don't know.
That was what I heard.
I would be surprised if they both made it out this year, but we'll see. I think that might be the intention. I don't think we see anything for Gotham Knights anytime in the next month or two. I could be wrong. We'll see.
RDX Son of a Fett says PlayStation hopes to have 14.9 million PlayStation 5s out by end of March. Series has sold over 12 million. Is it crazy that they are back and neck? I think he meant neck and neck. No, it's not that crazy. I mean, they're both
back and neck.
Good.
That would require flexibility.
Right. They're both good, very good consoles, and they both have dedicated fan bases. They both have good exclusives, and at this point, the only thing holding them back is supply issues. So I'm not. They're going to be neck and neck throughout the entire generation. There's not going to be a clear winner at any point.
Yep, and I think they're both very appealing to different groups of people, and like even that overlap of like people who like would normally just pick one or the other are like, man, there's a lot of reasons to get both, and if I could get both, I would, and I think that's going to continue to happen for quite some time.
Major Blazer says Kirby looks good. Going to get it for my cousins. Yeah, you should also get it for yourself though.
Yeah, let's play it.
Logan Jackman says, also, any updates on that second game from Warner Brothers Montreal? They've had some job ads about it. Rumors keep saying Superman. I mean, of course the rumors are going to say Superman, right? That's what everybody wants. So I don't know if those rumors are based off of anything other than like reasonable guesses and hopes and dreams. Have you heard anything, Jeff?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking about like we got Dean here looking at the time and I wasn't paying attention. What's the question?
Yeah.
Any updates on that second game from Warner Brothers Montreal? They've had some more job ads about it. Rumors keep saying it's Superman.
Wait, what? Weren't they? Okay, no. Okay, I was just thinking about Monolith, and that was Wonder Woman.
Warner Bros. Montreal.
Yeah, Warner Brothers Montreal. I don't know. I'd have to look into. I feel like some people have told me some things about this that I wasn't able to confirm. I'll go back and see what I can find out there.
Isaac Spencer just says Mike Minotti, so thank you for that. Supernova says, "What's up, Jeff, Mike, Rachel? Is it true about the rumor about a portable game device from Microsoft?" I would say no. I mean, you're not going to make a portable game.
That's my opinion.
They may someday make like their own Steam Deck that just plays like xCloud, or
right.
They're not going to make like
eventually
a Vita. They're not going to make like a Vita, right?
No.
I think that the processors have gotten so efficient that it makes more and more sense all the time, but they're still probably not ready to do that. But when I asked about this last year, the answer I got was, hey, your phone is basically the Switch version of Xbox, because we could just stream xCloud to you. So I'm like, oh, that's not a very good answer, but whatever.
It might be something to be like an Xbox Series P for portable or M for mobile, where it is just like, it's like an Xbox that is like a Steam Deck. Jared Helder says, "What do you think of Halo's story? As someone new to both Metroid and Halo, I was invested in Dread's story, but confused and disinterested in Halo's." Yeah, I did think like that is a problem with Halo Infinite, in that it's more tied to the ongoing mythos of Halo than I almost wish it was. And there's like all this craziness that they've done with Cortana in 4 and 5 that's important that I do not care about. I think it seems like they elevated Cortana to like this weird godlike mythical stature in that game's story, and it kind of reminds me. I was
impressed that this game was able to reset a lot of that and sort of do it in a way that felt efficient, but it wasn't. It's definitely not. It's not Shakespeare,
right? And they still definitely have to. They had to work off of Halo 5 to some degree. They couldn't just ignore it. There was Halo 5 was one of the game's speed run on Games Done Quick, and I never played that game. I was looking. I was like, yeah, this game does not look very good. Yep. How about that?
Any other super chats?
Yep, that's it for super chats.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to take a break from this, and we are going to record our game of the year, and then we'll come back and we'll do all these questions. And if it's just me, then that might be it, because if you guys have to do other stuff, I'm not going to hold you here. Okay.
I'll try to stick around a little bit
too.
You
guys. All right, yeah, we're gonna keep going. All right, let's just get back into it.
Goodbye forever.
All right, I'm gonna start recording, and we're gonna get right into it. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, I have a bunch of questions from the community here, Mike. But do we have any more super chats though that we should read first? Should we do that first?
We do have some super chats. Let's do that real quick. Ariel Delgado says, "When is Mario Kart Cross Desert Bus dropping, Jeff?"
I mean, that sounds like definitely a twist we could get. Yeah, just do like a 12-hour long Mario Kart drive with no other riders on there, just slowly listing to the right. I like it. Yeah, any moment now.
It's hilarious that Desert Bus is a parody game from a Penn and Teller mini game collection for the Sega CD that never had an official release. Like, that's where that comes from. Yep. That's so incredible.
That is incredible.
Then we got from Supernova, when Kojima tweeted a picture of a computer file, did Jeff Keighley know what it was? Do they share confidential information? Then he has the crying, laughing emoji. I don't even know what this thing was, but man, that's
I don't know.
Look, they know everything. They are the same person, actually, but like they are two separate bodies, but it's the same consciousness.
It's the same consciousness, right? Exactly.
Radu Paracool, take on us. I feel like I say that name way better than that sometimes. He said, "Please nominate Great Ace Attorney for something," and hey, we did. So
congratulations, you won.
Congrats. Demi Cow says, "We need a Toy Story 4 game from a AAA studio," because I saw about Toy Story later. Like, do we? I'm not a big Toy Story 4 fan. I'll be honest.
Yeah, but you're wrong though. Toy Story 4 is fantastic.
Right? Really? You think it's fantastic? Toy Story 4?
It's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome.
Awesome.
Yes, it's great.
Ew.
No, I watch all the time. Still, it's awesome.
Oh my god. You know what it is? I think I thought everybody who moved away from home likes that movie, because that's just all it's about. It's like, you have to move on from these things at some point. No, it's just because I've never left.
Well, I mean, I guess it is saying like time does move on, Mike. Eventually, things do change.
Oh yeah, See, this is the other part. You guys think you're all so deep and profound. You say it, shit. Yeah, no, duh. But there's like 4 Disney movies in a row with that same exact message there for a while. It was like that. It was Frozen 2. It was Wreck-It Ralph 2. It was like all the same things. Like, sometimes you need to move on and go make new friends with people. It's like, yeah, okay, we get it.
It's okay if your job sometimes
moved away from your hometowns to California to become an animator at Pixar. We understand that your life experiences are all very similar.
Like, it's just saying, like, why are you here? You're like, and
Okay, how about aside from that, it's just not all like as funny or interesting as the other.
I disagree with that too, but that's fine.
You're an idiot, and
You're wrong. I think
I can't wait to yell at you. And
you're just like, a movie's making me feel bad about being stuck in Ohio for forever.
I'm like the whole third movie. Like you hate. Okay, so you hate that Star Wars movie because it just invalidates the Star Wars movie that you liked, right? You hate Episode 9 because it just
that's not the only reason, but it definitely does do that.
Reason. Yeah,
it definitely does do that.
Yeah, Toy Story 3 is like this whole thing, like, oh wow, it's important that we all stay together as a family. That's like this big thing that keeps pushing in Toy Story 3. Then Toy Story 4 is being like, actually, nah, it's better to move on. And I can understand that real life is complicated and both things can be true, but inside a microcosm of a movie universe, it's very jarring to have just like the one movie be this and then the next movie be that.
It's just if you are not fitting into a situation, it's okay to move on. That's all.
All right,
that's all it said.
Toy Story 4, good or bad?
All right, yeah, I'll do that. That's fine.
Let's do it. It's poll time.
Poll time, yeah. Sorry.
Or how about Toy Story 3? I agree with Jeff. I agree with Mike. I don't think it's a bad movie, but like it's clearly the worst Toy Story. It's definitely the worst Toy Story very easily.
No,
and I always hate saying movies are unnecessary because of course they all are unnecessary. But this was as pretty unnecessary as far as these movies go.
You said not good or bad. What do you want me to? What was the phrasing?
You agree with Jeff or you agree with Mike? How about just say that?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Also, I like Buzz Lightyear a lot, and it's like I get that he wasn't like a very major character in 3, but like I thought, okay, if we're making a 4th one, clearly we're gonna do some more Buzz Lightyear stuff now, right? Like
Buzz's thing there was great, and like
he's barely in it.
Like it
what
was
his
like
thing even.
It was
his thing
him.
Was he's going to save Woody again. That's his thing.
And he's talking like he's listening to his inner voice, and his inner voice is like actually just him pressing a button.
It's a running gag.
But it's fun. I don't know. It's a good gag though. It's fun.
It's a running gag is all he gets in that movie. Great. The key appeal characters had more lines in that movie. Probably.
Come on, just like put one of us out of our misery. Don't be 50-50. All right, there it goes. It's going in your favor, Mike. There you go.
Jared Howder says, thank you for celebrating Hitman 3. I would have skipped it otherwise. In Dartmoor, I spent hours solving the mystery, then helping the murderer. That's pretty great. Yeah, that whole... That's like one of the greatest moments in gaming when I was like in that level and I got so involved in the mystery. And then I realized like, wait, my goal is actually not to solve this mystery. Like, that's not what I'm here for, actually. Like, I could go do my real goal right now. And it was just kind of like this fun... weird moment. It's funny how like that level even still has like other completely unrelated ways like to kill your target there, like the whole burying her in her grave thing that have nothing to do with the mystery really. Still, there's just so much going on that one level. All right, God, this poll better start changing real quick or else I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. But Jeff, why don't you get to those community questions? We're back at 50-50. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. All right. VJ incoming. Happy Friday, friends.
Wait a second. See, Nick Turner says, I have not seen 4. I just want to vote against Mikey. So that's what happens every time.
Oh my!
I get it. It's funny
don't
when I'm
say
bad.
that, Nick Turbo, because he's going to be like this the entire time.
So
he won't ever believe if something goes against him.
Yep. Poll invalidated. People just think it's funny when I'm mad. So
2022 off to a wonderful
Game Boy
start.
Color is a real platform. Toy Story 4 sucks.
Real platform.
I'm right.
Toy Story 4 is great. It does not suck.
It's great.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's got
great.
Happy Friday, friends. No question this week. Just wanted to say thank you, everyone in the community, for the blast we've had the last few community game nights. From Mike versus...
Who's saying this? I'm sorry.
This is VJ incoming. From Mike versus 100 and the drive-by hammer swing in Halo to Jeff acting like he's got a big old swinging dong for being too good for only 150cc in Mario Kart. They've been the best. The community rocks. Heart, I am too good for 150cc. I need that 200cc.
We'll do some more community night soon because Halo was... God, we played like for 4 hours. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there will be the Mario Kart tournament should be going tomorrow, right? Sean, I think there was 2 because we set up because like we had made a mistake in the first one. If there's a way to delete the defunct one, make sure that's done. But it'll be going to Mario Kart. It'll be named Game Mess and stuff. The details will be in the Discord. So come on, hang out with us tomorrow. I think people will be in the Discord talking. I think I'll try to get on there and do some too. I'll probably be on early is my plan. Okay, from Sakelin. Hey, bored beef and cheddar apes. How dare you? Wow. Something I've always wanted to ask is, why do people leak stuff to you / other journalists? I get the idea of leaking stuff so it is harder to remove, like, stuff that's harder to remove, like possibly the LGBTQ stuff in Hogwarts Legacy. But why are so many things like new games, titles, announcements, etc. leaked? I feel like the leakers are putting their jobs on the line, don't get anything from it in return. Thank you guys as always, and have a good weekend. So I've talked about this a little bit before, but mostly it is not like, oh, I'm just going to leak a game to you and that's that. It is the games get leaked as part of a larger explanation for what's going on inside these companies. And that's they know that like if they can spice it up by putting some extra info in there, it makes it more likely for people to listen, and then more people are likely to understand like why decisions are being made. A lot of people that work at these companies know that they want people to understand what is happening and why, and most of these companies overall are very happy to keep most people in the dark. And so there's a contingency of people inside these companies who are like, man, if we could just explain ourselves, I feel like people would be happier with what's happening in gaming. And in that process, I tend to find out a lot of stuff. And I know people focus on the game announcements that I talk about and stuff like that, and game names and project stuff. But if you really look at the way that I have done these leaks in the past, you'll see that most of the time it is about explaining a bigger choice, why companies are behaving in certain ways, and that's what it's really about. From Beefhammer, happy Friday. Jeff understands crypto but doesn't invest in it. Grubb. And Mike doesn't understand crypto but invests in it anyways. Minotti. No question this week. Just wanted to say I was listening to some old podcasts while bored at work this week, and Mike's epic rant about basically the entire Square Enix E3 show, from Guardians to Final Fantasy Origins to Pixel Remasters, was my favorite podcast moment of 2021. Looking forward to more great shows in 2022. Thanks for all your work. Mike, do you remember any of that rant?
I don't remember. I wonder what I said about Guardians, because I bet that was probably unfair, but I bet everything else I said was probably super spot on.
Hey, you don't know. Next game of the year might be Final Fantasy Origins.
Now, I tell you what, that would be something, wouldn't it?
That would be something.
Maybe it is actually as self-aware as everybody is like thinking that it is. I bet it's just actually bad. That's what I'm thinking.
We can put this on Twitter, Mike, because I don't know. I almost I'm having a hard time believing it's 55-45 in favor of me. I thought it'd be like in favor of you.
No, it was 50-50, and then I accidentally drew attention to the fact that people were voting against me because it's funny when I'm bad, and now look what's happening. So
I'd be interested to see what a wider audience thinks. From Poppy Woppy,
just say Toy Story 4 good or bad, I guess. But see, that's the problem. Like, I don't think it's bad. It's Final Fantasy. Maybe you should say it's Toy Story 4 great or okay, because you use the word great.
I think it's great.
I say
yes.
Okay, so say great or okay.
I think that's fair. Okay, Poppy Woppy, you know what would be great if Microsoft
Toy Story 4. That's what would be great.
Yeah, that's what he said. All right, there we go. We got another vote for there. He says if Microsoft brought back the start and select buttons. I feel like that ship has sailed, but I would definitely enjoy that. I like the start and select buttons. I still call them that. I mean, they still are that in my heart.
Right.
Jedi Moss 4, hi guys. First off, I had a blast with the community game night this week and can't wait for the next one. Now for my question. Phil Spencer was recently interviewed by New York Times and talked about wanting to someday find a way to link the 3 console networks together to ban bad actors across all platforms and give players the ability to take their list of blocked users across platforms. Do you think there's any chance of this one day happening? Well, I can tell you who doesn't care about that, and that's Mike Minotti, who deleted this from our news rundown when it was on there.
Yeah, it didn't. I don't know. I don't know. It sounds like he's talking out of his ass a little bit to me. Maybe I'm crazy. What do you think?
I mean, if you listen to the podcast, he's definitely a little bit talking out of his ass, because it's like the question's about how can we make it safe from toxicity? And he's like, I would love to do this. Not like I am calling on the industry to do this. That's not how he put it. So it was definitely oh, that'd be a nice to have, not something that he's planning on implementing. Right.
Because it's good they charge him it, because all 3 of them are going to want equal credit for it, and it's just messy. So
if the ESA was like a living, breathing sort of thing, they could be like, oh yeah, we can let them handle this and make it part of the ESRB or whatever. But no. From Newfie Legit, happy Friday, Curly Jeff and not Curly Jeff, aka Mike. What are both of your favorite Xbox games / franchises? Keep up the great work. I mean, honestly, my favorite Xbox game ever might be Halo Infinite now. I don't know. It's really won me over in a major way, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm trying to think. Beyond that, I don't know. It's tough. I really like the Forza Horizon games a lot. I never liked Gears of War though, so I don't know. How about
Blinks and get it out there?
Blinks the Time Cat is definitely a good one. Yeah.
I like the Ori games a lot.
That's right.
And especially even Will of the Wisp. That's one of my favorite games. Fantastic.
Ooh, Netflix is raising its subscription prices.
I gasp.
From One Up versus CPU, a 2024 Final Fight remake showed up in the Capcom leaks. What do you think / hope that will be like? My wish list would be 3-player online co-op, more moves like River City Girls and Streets of Rage 4, and Street Fighter 5 quality graphics.
Gosh, I don't know about Street. I'd rather look like basically Streets of Rage 4. I basically just want Streets of Rage 4, but with
would like it to be that TMT game, like in that style.
like more pixelated.
Yeah.
I feel like even like proportionally, like Final Fight's pixels even always looked relatively, quote, I don't know if realistic is the word, you know.
I get what you mean. Like there was some sharpness to it. Yeah, it was sharp. Yeah.
It was pretty sharp, especially that arcade original, like the Sega CD port of it. So I really do just want like Streets of Rage 4, but the Final Fight version. Now, I never liked Final Fight as much as Streets of Rage anyway, so if this doesn't come to be, I'm not going to be totally heartbroken about it, but it's certainly something that I feel like Capcom may as well try.
From Velocity Prime. Happy choose year, Beef and Cheddar Boys. All right, like that. So if Kirby inhaled Mike and Jeff, as he is wont to do, what copy abilities would Pink Puffball, what would he obtain? Like, what abilities would the Pink Puffball obtain? Frequent linking or tin whistle playing? Fast food appreciation?
A killer Toad impersonation.
Yeah, and just the ability to play Mario Kart, but only at 200cc. Anything below there, he's not going to be as good. So, yeah, that's
he's got to go fast.
He's got to go fast. Yeah, and also he would inherit some of the best speed run times in Astro's Playroom. So
our powers combined, man.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Delta Prime 84. I'm a Red Dead Online player, so I'm very aware of the Save Red Dead Online hashtag. Do you think the lack of updates to Red Dead Online are more likely caused by Rockstar wanting to kill Red Dead Online, as players seem to think, or rather what you have talked about in the past, with there being only a certain amount of dev talent available and having to pick/choose where to allocate them?
I think it's the later. I mean, it's just it just never ever became like Grand Theft Auto Online like they wanted it to. And I think they're, for a while they're going to add support to see maybe if it'll get turned around a bit, and it never really did. So at this point, it's like, well, look, it's not that. We can try again next time, I guess. But right now, let's just keep supporting GTA Online and also working on whatever that next thing is going to be, whether it's just GTA Online 2 or Bully Online or whatever the hell.
Yep. Let's see, from Canooble. Hello, Mr. Grubb and Mr. Minotti. Nintendo's year is packed to the max. Do you guys still believe we get Zelda, Wind Waker with or without Twilight Princess this year? Thanks as always. Super Metroid is overrated. Bye.
Wow. No,
Jesus
I don't even know if I want to answer
Canooble.
this question.
I know.
Everyone gets Wind Waker except you, actually,
Yes, exactly.
is what I heard. That's what Nintendo told me. I heard the guards talking about it while they thought I was asleep in my cell at Nintendo jail.
Yeah, I still think this is going to happen this year. Probably in the summer, I think, but we'll see. From Dr. Suss, what has been Sony's, Microsoft's, and Nintendo's biggest misstep this generation? And he defines this generation as PS5, Xbox Series X, and Switch.
Well, Nintendo's is online, like obviously, though. Specifically, the Nintendo Switch Online app was such a obviously stupid idea. And it's kind of shocking, like they must have data that just shows that nobody uses it, and it must be
right.
Like,
just a complete
they don't. Because for a while, it was like a game would come out and it would have its own app within there, right? Like they don't do that anymore, right? Like there's not a Mario Party Superstars like app inside of Nintendo Switch Online. Is there?
When you get onto Super Mario or Mario Party Superstars, there's like a voice chat button. I clicked it and then nothing happened, and I was like so confused. I'll have to, I would have to look at it, but I can't imagine it's done through the app, because that would just be, no one uses it. It would just a waste of resources at this time to do that.
I think Sony's biggest thing so far is not taking enough advantage of its PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3 libraries on the PlayStation 5. And then Microsoft, my only complete issues with them have been branding, and it's not that big, but I don't like the whole Series X thing. It doesn't really matter because they're all selling fine anyways. It's a relatively smaller deal, and even less of a deal than I thought it would be for sure. So, but branding is my biggest issue with the Series X and S.
Let's see, that was Dr. Suss's question. So now we're at Blackheart Vinyl. I sent this in already, but then the form got reset, so I'm unclear if this already will be in the show. No, this is the right thing to do. Thank you for sending in the new question. This is very confusing to me, but anyway, who gives better hugs, Jeff or Mike? I think Mike, I think you might give better hugs.
Yeah, but I have to I can't fake it.
Well, that's the thing. I think I've tried to fake it. That's what I mean.
Oh, so yeah. See, I just won't hug you if I don't want to.
You see, and I will, and I'll be like, I am really afraid to go back to the world and like have to figure out handshakes. Like I'm having so much anxiety about this because I care. That's why I have anxiety about it. But it's like, I know people are going to be like, no, I'm never going to be in a handshake again. And I'm going to be like, I would like to do that. But if the person wants to handshake me, I'm going to give them a handshake. And do you want to do a handshake? It's going to be a whole thing. And hugs are going to be a whole other level of that. So
I think I'm just, for a while, I feel like we were getting a little too familiar with hugs. Hugging was becoming too much of a thing.
Definitely was.
And there was two watershed moments. First off, there's the whole John Lasseter thing, right? Because he was like the most famous, like celebrity hugger. So like, oh, I hug everybody, and everyone's like, oh, it turns out that was actually sexual and weird.
Yeah.
So let's not do it. And then there's COVID. And it's like, yeah, I don't really want to hug you unless you're in my family or like a very close friend. And even then, it's like your birthday or something. I don't know. Or like your mom died. Like I don't know. I'm in a low point in terms of how much I want to hug people.
That's fair. I still think, I bet his hugs are better. Because they're so rare. They're so rare. It's yeah.
So rare.
Epic Open World. Jeff, this is going to be my question of 2022. Where is Dragon Age? You got EA sending out skate merch over the holidays to folks, and rumors of Jedi Fallen Order 2 being shown, and both of those games have been in development for a far shorter time than Dragon Age. Hell, they abandoned Anthem to work on Dragon Age. During the Game S, will someone show actual gameplay? It's still coming. It's still happening. I think that we are just a little bit further out from them, like really talking about it. But I think at like the next major EA event, I would be very shocked if Dragon Age wasn't there.
So we were talking about earlier in the Game of the Year stuff, like what was a series that needed a win. Here's a developer that like they can't miss with this. This one's got to come out and be very well received and sell well. So they're going to take their time. They're going to be careful with it.
Let's see here. This is hot off the presses. Remember that time earlier in the podcast where we said Sega wasn't going to do NFTs because they said the gamers don't like it? Well, Sega has registered a trademark in Japan for Sega NFT.
What does this shock me? I feel like a lot of different parts. Sega has a lot of heads, and I bet a lot of them don't know what the other one is doing. Right.
They've always had that problem, and this is like maybe one of the best examples of it ever. What an incredible company. Just an incredible company. All right, we're going to keep going. Winnie featuring tidings of comfort and joy from Doom. I once brought my PlayStation to church camp and organized Deadly Alliance tournaments. Where have you played the most inappropriate games? I don't know if I have a good answer to this, Mike. How about you?
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, and now I'm trying to think if there's a good answer for that. I don't think I can match that. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely not that. I think I mean, I've set up like I would like play like, okay, the most inappropriate place I played a game was behind the steering wheel of a moving car.
That's pretty bad, yeah.
Yes, I played my Game Boy Advance. I got really into Final Fantasy Tactics Advance and Advance Wars, and I would play those games while driving to work when I worked at FedEx. This is like 20 years ago. So.
I'm trying to think if like I brought my Game Boy to any of my grandparents' funerals or something like that.
Yeah, right.
I can't remember.
I bet you did.
I bet it might. It sounds like something I would have done.
From Laotian.
To console myself, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is how you grieve. Everyone grieves differently.
Okay, this Toy Story 4 poll has gone out of control here. It was like 50-50 forever. Now it's 61%.
Should I end it?
Yeah, I'm ending it. What the? Yeah, you got. Yeah, it's a. See, I don't believe it now. Jeff doesn't even believe it, to be clear.
Not really. No.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. You guys played yourselves.
You always ruin it because you start like freaking out, and then everyone's like, "That's hilarious! I want more of that."
It's all real, Jeff. It's like it's not a joke.
I think you're being crazy. I'm not gaslighting you right now. I just think you're being crazy, Mike.
Movie theaters are ready for Toy Story 4, whether they know it or not.
All right, Laotian. Hey guys, hope your week was a good one. What are your favorite local co-op games other than Mario Party or Mario Kart games? I am trying to play It Takes Two with my wife, but finding time has been hard with 2 young kids. Yeah, I didn't even try that. Favorite local co-op games? I don't know.
River City Girls.
That's the kind of game. Streets of Rage 4 is actually probably my answer for this because me and my wife do play that, and we will make time for that.
Yeah, but River City Girls is my answer. That's a super, super fun couch co-op game.
From Turbo Sean, happy Friday, Jeff, shopping cart connoisseur Grubb, and Mike 1 versus 100 Minotti. and any potential guests who have now since departed the show. Let's see. First off, shout outs to everyone who made it out to our community Halo night. It was a ton of fun hanging out with everyone. Second, recently in the Discord, which is discord.gg/GameMess, we were discussing a potential gender-neutral version of the name Beef and Cheddar Boys. If Rachel wanted to join and further associate with you knuckleheads, which I don't blame her if she doesn't want to. Personally, I think Beef and Cheddar Gang and Pinch His Fingers, Familia de Beef and Cheddar are clear front runners.
I mean, look, like I don't know if Rachel can fake. Like I don't know what her affinity with Arby's is.
Yeah, listen, I will say, Mike, let's be honest. Did you notice her when we talked about Beef and Cheddar? She made a face.
Oh,
so I think we might need to investigate this further.
Oh no!
And maybe it was an excited face, but I heard like it sounded a little bit like a gagging noise too. So
well, she's in Texas, so she's probably like a Whataburger, what's up or
That's
whatever, like Whataburger weirdo.
Yes, exactly. I was I mean, okay, we're not like saying you can't like Whataburger.
We're not trying to be like no girls allowed in the Beef and Cheddar Boys.
No, but I mean, there's a strong possibility that she might not have the same positive attitude towards Arby's that we do.
No, but to be clear, the whole Arby's thing again. Like I know it's kind of a joke, but it's also not a joke. I fucking love Arby's.
Yeah, we almost all of our jokes are also pretty sincere. We like Arby's a lot, eat it regularly. Yes, that's 100. This is 100% us. We would not be like putting on airs about this. So
right. So yeah, you can't just join.
He's got some other one. The Beef and Cheddar Heads, the Messy Bessies.
Messy Bessies.
And he says, "P.S. Fuck the Lions with love from Green Bay." Yeah.
Oh wow.
This is I mentioned this was this is from Turbo Sean. I said that right? I think I did.
I forget.
It was I know so long ago. From Keywork, sup Beef and Cheddar Gang. Hitman Trilogy Game of the Year 2022. Kidding. Question for the week. You might not be kidding though. Honestly, like that's like one of the biggest releases of like this first quarter now. Even though there's so many good games coming out.
After Kirby.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. Acquisition season? Question mark. Acquisition season! Exclamation point. Chances of these studios / publishers being acquired and by who? He's got a list. We'll go through them quick. IO Interactive. I think it's pretty low, but maybe like greater than most of these other ones. Just because they're working with Xbox, and I think if Xbox really falls in love with them, there's a chance that could happen. This year, though, seems unlikely. Bungie. What do you think, Bungie? Mike, is Bungie going to get acquired?
I mean, now that if Halo Infinite is a hit without them, now why bother? Now you don't. Now you kind of maybe if Halo Infinite missed, then yeah, you go crawling back to them. You maybe sign that big check. But now it's like, oh, never mind. 343 did get its shit together. It's fine. We don't need them.
Supergiant Games. I don't think so. I think they're gonna be happy to be on their own.
They'll maybe make deals.
Epic, they have like deals with like Epic Games and stuff. They'll keep
they're
that.
Not gonna get acquired. They're
right, but like
remain their own thing.
Their next game can launch on Switch, and Nintendo would be very happy to like help them like promote it and stuff. So yeah, CD Projekt Red, CD Projekt. That's like a weird one, but I still think probably not.
Probably not right now. I think people would be a little sketchy about it right after what happened with Cyberpunk.
Right, but they also might be at a low price too. So I don't know.
A low price, fair, but also I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be a weird one. There's so many other better options right now for you.
Like Sega, for example.
Sega, that's who wants to buy Sega right now? It just seems
don't know.
It's very big, and it has a problem where it has so much like even if Sonic games are bad, like Sonic is still worth so much as a character and as a property, and there are at least a few other things like that. I feel like it's just too much of a mess to acquire Sega, and nobody really wants to deal with that.
Avalanche, which is making that Contraband game with Xbox. I think that there's a similar sort of situation as IO, but I think it's less likely because Avalanche has missed a lot of key milestones and stuff, and Microsoft's been kind of like frustrated by that. So I think that's kind of the case there. Haven Studio, which is Jade Raymond's studio that she started to work on that PlayStation game.
Not before they release a game, even. I mean,
exactly.
What is Jade Raymond most known for at this point? It's not like her fault, but for working a lot of projects that don't come to fruition. So
exactly right. And then finally, Platinum Games.
Who would acquire Platinum Games, right? Because it seems like it's too big of an acquisition for Nintendo.
Right.
Really want to make, and I don't know.
I mean, Nintendo would not do it.
Yeah, I don't think any. Yeah,
and I think Platinum doesn't want to be acquired at the moment either. I think they're happy with where they're at.
Are they going to go with Xbox, who like canceled the last big project last time they tried to work with Platinum?
And
games?
I think like, yeah, I mean, I know Microsoft is more interested in Japan, but I don't know if that's the route that they would even take. From Danger Man 1337, considering the Omicron wave in the US has shown signs of peaking and probably will have subsided next month, do you think it is an excuse to draw down E3 as a whole? Seems to be the case. Basically, or you're saying it's like a made-up excuse to draw down E3 as a whole? Seems to be the case. Personally, think it is not a positive development, as we'll lose the memorable E3 unscripted moments, and those such as developers not being able to connect and companies being able to be less, and companies are now able to be less transparent. Yeah, I'm not happy with this, but I mean, I also think that, like, yeah, just because Omicron's going to draw down doesn't mean something else won't replace it. So.
Right. I mean, this is already the second variant. So I do think that they are genuinely being cautious, but I also think there is definitely smoke to the fire that they also just kind of don't want to do it anyways. Now, I don't think that necessarily means that there's never going to be an in-person E3 again. Like, it could still just happen next year. Right. Well, I'm very skeptical whenever people are like, E3 is dead for sure now.
Yes, I like, you're right. We've heard that refrain so many times that it's like, it's hard to take it seriously. And I also think, I've said this repeatedly, the brand is so powerful, I think it might just, life finds a way. We find a way to get another E3. All right, we got a couple more. Low Rule. I know you can't say the secret Nintendo game you heard of. That's right. But if it is true, is it a game you would enjoy playing? And do you think it would cause a lot of buzz online? All right, Mike, let's be careful.
The second part there, it would certainly cause buzz.
It would cause, but it would cause a reaction. Yes.
Yeah, there would be buzz for sure. Whatever that means.
Yes. Rachel says she's trying to remember if she's been to Arby's in the last 10 years.
Yeah, see, she can't be.
Is there a reason you took time off from going to Arby's, though? Is that what we're wondering?
Yeah, well, that sounds to me like you really love Arby's.
Everyone wants to know if you want to be a part of the beef and cheddar gang, and we said we are not going to force Arby's love onto you. So
it has to be. The Arby's love has to be real. It has to be a genuine thing.
Yes.
You can't fake it.
Yeah, so it would be like, we have beef and cheddar gang and the Whataburger woman. Is that how it would go?
Whataburger woman. How did I miss that? I was like trying to think of something. Like, what's something that starts with W that's feminine? I'm a moron.
From Sosuke, hi Jeff, my life 20 years ago was a bad CW show, Grubb, that's right. And Mike, we would have been like Frasier and Martin Minotti. I find myself finding it hard to play video games in my backlog. All I want is Starfield and nothing scratching the itch. Any suggestions? I don't know. This is probably not exactly right, but maybe try Stalker. Maybe get on Steam and try Stalker. Mike, I know Mike isn't interested, but
no.
I think maybe give it a shot. I mean, it's one of the most influential games of all time, but Mike doesn't want that. So
it's so hard to say like what you have played and haven't played. But the new Prey, like that was the thing that when it was added to Game Pass, I missed the first time, and that was still fun. Like Outer Worlds, if you haven't played that will probably scratch a relatively similar itch there, and so on and so forth.
So Rachel wants to know if she said no to liking Arby's, would that be an excuse not to invite her on the show?
No,
that's not. No, not at all. We are talking about something completely separate, and that is the Beef and Cheddar Boys, and we're like worried about like giving that a gender neutral name so that you could join. That's what the community was asking.
But I was like, well, let's not even worry about that if Rachel doesn't want to be in the Beef and Cheddar whatever.
Yes, exactly.
The Beef and Cheddar whatever. That's
Beef and Cheddar whatever is actually a fantastic name. But yeah, the Beef and Cheddar Boys is just an Arby's appreciation group that happens to exist within the confines of this podcast, and it's nothing to do with the podcast itself.
No.
From Nick Turbo, hello Jeff. Hello Jeff knows he is ready for NFTs, Grubb, and Mike, who does not know he is ready for NFTs, Minotti. Why did you snub Persona 5 Strikers? I hope we can play more Mario Party and Anacrusis soon. We will.
That's probably my number 11 actually when I put out my top 10. So I like that game a lot, but I have 10 games I like more than it. So there.
Yeah, I would never play such a thing.
No, Jeff wouldn't like it. I mean, there's no way Jeff would understand or get into that game.
That does it for the community questions, though, Mike. So good job. I will. You know what I'm gonna do right now, everybody? Can we test something out real quick? Let me go to forums.google.com, and I'm going to go to questions for GamesBeat, and then I'm gonna hit this button that is going to delete all responses. And now, if you sent it a question last week, send it another one, and I want to see if it works. And if it doesn't work for you, then I know what I need to do to make it work right away. So test that out for me, and we'll keep going. Okay, Mike, any more super chats?
We got one more here from Jared Helder. Says, Oh wait, no, never mind. We read that one. I thought we got another super chat.
You got
Oh,
one
we
here
do.
from Good
I'm
Morning
gonna say it
Games.
now, from Good Morning Games. It didn't show up in Stream Moments yet.
Okay.
Good Morning Game says, is the new casual game rumored to be coming from Nintendo 1-2 Switch 2, 2-2 Switch, 1-3 Switch? Or is it a sequel to a game from a previous gen? Jeff, I don't even know about this rumor, so I can't say anything.
Well, let's see. The new casual game rumored to be coming from Nintendo.
Apparently, there's a new casual game rumored to be coming from Nintendo.
It's going to be something that we're not even thinking of. I bet is probably what it is. It's probably going to be
Vitality Sensor.
Yeah, maybe the Vitality Sensor's coming back. I mean, they did Brain Age and stuff. They're willing to bring back a lot of stuff, but it's like hard to. I mean, it's Nintendogs is what it is. They're bringing back Nintendogs.
That would really ruin our whole We're the Last of Them thing.
Yes, it would.
Well, that just means there's a new litter we have to kill.
Yeah, that's right. We got to take care of it. Someone's got to do it, and it's going to be us. We're going to kill a litter of puppies. Is that what you're saying we're going to do, Mike?
Yes. Well, yeah.
Oh, good.
We'll kill dogs.
We'll kill dogs. All dogs get killed and sit to heaven by the last of the Nintendogs.
And go to heaven as I yell at them in the Toad voice.
Just a truly disturbing sight and image of my brain.
Well, Jeff, that's it for Super Chats and everything. Do we want to talk about Anna Cruces? We played it. I loved on Grub Snacks when you were like, I played Anna Cruces, and I had fun when I wasn't playing with the Minotti.
Yeah. I had fun when I was playing with you guys, actually, but it was more fun with people who were like, hey, we'll accept this for what it is. It's
what group was better at the game, Jeff? Who killed it with who beat the level with no wipes, huh?
That's true. Actually, once we figured out how to do it, it was a lot easier too. So that helped. Actually, going through it with those guys and figuring out that you need to look at this bar and then be over here.
I think I was thrown off by a few things. One thing I said before, I'm not a giant Left 4 Dead fan. I was also thrown off by the game just wasn't running well on my PC, and it was like more so than anything, I was expecting this to be the game. I was like, I need to upgrade my computer. So that I was kind of frustrated by that. So I was already in.
To be fair, it's I think to be fair to that, it's in early access. I feel like some of that stuff's gonna just kind of be growing pains. That doesn't mean that that's not fair. Like, it's completely fair that you weren't happy with that. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like I said, these aren't really my things. I do like the way the game looks. I think the weapons are fun. There's some interesting enemy designs there, but again, not entirely my thing. I think not something I'm that interested in checking out more of personally.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing it with probably with the community. I want to get through all the stages at least that are available, and then I'll probably put it down until it reaches like a next stage of early access. And if they add stuff, I think the things that they most need to add for me are more animations for when you're shooting enemies, so that it feels more reactive. It feels like you are actually doing something, because right now it just feels like you're very much just clicking on a spot on the screen, and the game is like counting whether or not you hit something, but it doesn't feel like visceral.
More like bullet sponges and less like actual beings.
Yes, exactly. It really needs that. If it gets that, it'll like really go a long way for the game feel. But I mean, other than like, the reason I come to these games is to have an excuse to do weird stuff or like to be in weird situations where things go wrong and it ends up being like really funny. And it delivered on that a lot. Like, we were bickering at each other the entire time, and I find that stuff very fun. And so it's working for me on that level, and that's kind of all I really need. And it's doing it in a way that's like in an environment that I really like, where I like the way the levels look. I like the spaceship aesthetics. I like the outer space 60s like mod aesthetics. And I like that more than trying to be like Left 4 Dead, exactly. Like, in terms of, it's going to be a spooky zombie world. So this is working for me on that level as well. So I want to spend more time with it. It's not going to be something that I'm like going to play nonstop in early access though. So, it's in Game Pass right now. So, and I think it's worth playing with friends to at least see if like maybe this is the one that clicks with you and your group. And at the very least, it's like good for a weekend of fun, I think, for most people. What else you been playing, Mike? You been playing anything else?
Just Final Fantasy 14, which again, I've been doing those raids, and we killed our first Savage boss, and that was fun. It took I think about 5 hours. We finally got it down total from all the different sessions. So like, these are like the really hard boss fights where there's like a lot of like learning what's going on and a lot of people figuring out and then not making mistakes and optimizing. But it was a lot of fun. But we got another super chat here from Oda Glim saying, "Hey Jeff and Mike, do you agree that 2022 will be the year of Starfield for Xbox? Great things are coming. Stay tuned." I don't know what is that tease there at the end. I'm not really sure what that means.
So Oda is the Starfield whisperer in our Discord. Every little tidbit that happens with Starfield, Oda is on top of it. So I think obviously Oda's very excited about it. I am too.
Sure.
I think this year's going to be. Listen, whether it's good or bad, it'll be the year Starfield in terms of the discussion. If it's bad,
yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 was certainly like a big game for 2020, right?
it was the one game where if you want to like watch something happen with video game on the local news, they were talking about Cyberpunk 2077 falling apart. Like that was the game of that year for sure. So I think Starfield has the potential to be either that in terms of that direction or be very good and then also be like the talk of this year.
I think there's more. It's more likely that it'll just be good. I definitely agree it's going to be one of the biggest games of the year. Now, Microsoft at this point, I wonder if it wasn't like if for some reason it was say October and it was like, oh, Starfield's looking rocky. They wonder if they would just delay it again like they did Halo. At this point, why not? But
right.
I don't think they want to be there. Jeff, that's it for me. Did you have anything else to talk about? We've been doing this for 3 hours.
Yeah, buck up and drive. I put a tweet out, and really all you need to know is that tweet. Okay, no, there was one more thing. Mike, what do you mean they don't know where the buttholes go in Honey Pop?
Oh my God. Look, I'm just saying that in some of the pictures that you unlock from the matchery things, the hole for the butt.
Right, the butthole. The titular butthole, right.
It's too close to a vagina.
I mean, that's like, because like normally it's like.
I know it's pretty close. Look, trust me, I know. It's not that close.
Oh man, I have to find a way to name this episode Where the Butthole Goes.
I can actually send you one of these pictures so you know what I'm talking about. Jeff, do I have your permission to send you this picture?
You have my consent, Mike.
To be clear, I'm going to send you this on Discord and not the work Slack.
Yes, of course. Yes, don't do that.
I'll show you. So wait, because I want to get your reactions to see if you agree with me.
Wait, hang on. Let me go here. Let me do this. Be right back thing. So we're still here, but I'm gonna have stuff here that I'm not sure people can see. So
let's see. How am I googling this? Let me googling this. I'm gonna figure this. Jesus Christ! I can't believe life has come to this, Jeff.
Yes, this is where we're at.
You're gonna agree with me. I just got
okay. I'm ready to wait. I'm ready to believe you. I'm ready to believe you.
Because now I'm looking up porn, so it's weird. Where do I have to go for this now?
Just Google search Honey Pop Buttholes too close or too far or whatever it is.
Oh my God, I'm like, this is a lot. This is a lot. No, these are clothes. These are pictures of these girls wearing clothes still. This isn't good enough.
Christian's definitely right about just popping out the video. That's what I should do from now on.
Is there a video? Oh, popping out the video. What do you mean?
In Discord, like you could just I could pop out your video so it's its own window, and that makes it a lot easier to frame and stuff. All right, so I'm going to this. Let me go here. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm close. I'm getting there.
And then let me find you, and then go back to live and make.
That one doesn't look as egregious. There's like a specific one. There's a specific one.
You're like, people agree with you. I think I saw some people in chat like, "Yep, the buttholes are definitely in the weird place."
They know exactly what I'm talking about. These aren't high enough resolution. It's kind of hard to see.
Well, I accept only the highest resolution buttholes.
Oh God, I think I'm not wearing my glasses because they're kind of reflective. Okay,
that'd be a hell of a way to get like kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah, we're getting close now.
Okay, oh, wonderful. That's a great way to put that.
This is good. This is wait. Yes.
All right. Okay, you don't have to be like yes.
Well, now
yes.
now maybe this one. Yes, this is a good example. This is the one that I was looking for. This has been a lot of build up for something that no one else here is going to see.
Yes, because they cannot. Oh, kids are freaking out too.
Yeah, don't let the kids see this, please.
No, they're upstairs. They're not gonna. Yeah, they won't see.
Yeah, because this is very explicit.
Oh, that's too close.
It's way too close. That's in the wrong
spot. Like they even drew the right spot. They even drew the right spot, and then they put it in the wrong spot.
Right? Like they put it. Like actually, if you click to, like it's completely wrong. It's no. It's
like they put it in that's far too close. That's like that's not. You can't do the shocker then. It's all broken. All right, everybody. This has been GamesBeat Decides. I'm hitting the button.
This is all Rachel's fault. This isn't me. I didn't start any of this.
If you don't know why we're talking about this on the Game of the Year episode, you got to go listen to that. The second Game of the Year episode. All right, Mike, tell people where they can find you on the internet other than playing Honey Pop.
You find me as a broken mess in my bedroom. I am on Twitter at twitter.com/Tokoto. That's how that works, right? Yeah. And check out 90s Disney, my 90s Disney podcast at 90sdisney.com. Jeff, you say words.
This has been a show. This is why we can never do one this long ever again. Find me on Twitter at Jeff Grubb. Hang on the Discord, discord.gg/GameMess. We will be doing some more community game nights. We did multiple ones last week. They've been really successful. A lot of people having a lot of fun hanging out. We definitely are gonna do more Halo. That's been so much fun. So come hang out with us. All right, yeah, and then I don't know, Mike. What do we got plans this weekend? What are you gonna do?
Nothing.
Man, that sounds fantastic. I'm gonna take down my tree and then I'm gonna do nothing. Actually, I got the DS all set up now, and I'm gonna play some Advance Wars. What is the Grim Dark one? I'm gonna play Grim Dark Advance Wars.
Oh, there you go.
I'll play a lot of that. I also gotta go get a new stylus because the one I bought did not come with a stylus. But I like this Mario one. It's handsome.
I need to get a DSi XL. I gotta get it or find mine or something. I don't know. I had one at some point. I don't know.
They're very inexpensive. Mike, I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm going to. Can I delete this? Can I delete this from this? You know what?
I'm just gonna leave it for you.
I'm just gonna leave this.
Yeah, I deleted it for you. There you go.
Thank you.
What? Oh, that. Yeah.
Every time I glanced over, it's just like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, first I'm like, wow, and then I'm like, that butthole's in the wrong spot. That's my brain.
One time, to be clear, you sent me porn one time when you meant to send me a work link, so let's not act like you're too good for this.
Hey, listen.
That
I think about it, and I sent it to you in Slack too, and it was like, well, this is a problem. And then I'm like, Mike, please just ignore that. And of course, years later.
Good thing you sent it to me of all people.
I know, for real, that would have been real bad. Listen, copy and paste is a pretty difficult technology, and I'm still trying to master. Okay. All right, everybody. Goodbye.
Get us out of here.
Fucking hell.
This is why we can't bring up board games. It's evolved.